Progressive Action TV show. As you can see, I'm not starting off with no music today. I want to jump directly into it. As you can see, like we do every show, if you want to support the platform, you can donate to our Cash App, which is on the screen, Progressive Action 100. Also, in the link of the video, we have PayPal, and we also have something called Patreon, where you could donate $25 a month. It's a recurring fee, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing. But yeah, you see the Cash App on the screen. You could donate directly to the Cash App. Hold on, let me put my name. Put my name on the screen. Let me get that going. What else we got going on to start it off? Next week, February 27th, we have our Black History Month celebration. That is at Stuyvesant Garden Senior Center, 150 Malcolm X Boulevard between Gates and Monroe. So if you want to donate a dish, donate money, donate your time or whatever, want to just spend time with the seniors, you could contact me or Jocelyn or Nuke and let us know how you would like to participate in the event. Our next brunch will be April 4th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Same place, same location, Sugar Hill Restaurant. The last one was great. So if you want to come through to this brunch, make sure to come through. And like we said, we joined a group called the Black Employees Group for Inclusion and Networking, and they have events coming up. They do events like every month. The next one is February 22nd. Is that today? What time? What's today's date? Matter of fact, that's Saturday, February 22nd. African Pop-Up Festival at from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. at Mist Harlem, 46 West 116th Street. Tickets is available for that. The last event they had, which you see, which was February 13th, was the Snack and Learn. This is a picture from it. Stations Group manager was giving a presentation, and it was actually pretty good. I actually enjoyed myself. There I got some information, and it was pretty good. Now, as you guys know, we have some raises coming up soon. Matter of fact, let me get y'all comments. Let me look at y'all comments, see what's going on there. Give me 1 second. I like to see what you guys are talking about. Let me open this up. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me get you guys comments. I want to get you guys comments going. Let me get you guys comments going. But yeah, as y'all know, our raises is about to kick in, and this is the wage scale. If you're watching this on TV, you can see it much more clearly. But this is the wage progression scale for the different titles, and these wages will kick in May 16th, 2020. I thought it was before that, but it said May 16th, 2020. The raises will start kicking in. So No excuse. You would know how much you making. This contract shouldn't have went through, but it did. It is what it is. You guys have seen a fair enforcement agent exam coming up. And the thing that I find very interesting about this fair enforcement agent exam is that if you look at their top pay will be increasing to $80,442. $80,442. That's more base salary than every bus operator, train operator, conductor, station agent, cleaner. I don't know how the MTA justify the salary. I'm not mad at their salary. I'm more upset that we still aren't making $80,000 base salary or for 8 hours. I'm not talking about the penalty jobs, because the MTA ultimate goal is to cut our overtime and have us work nothing but 8-hour jobs and go home. But they will be making $80,442. We deserve better as far as the operational titles and the cleaners. I'm not saying that their job isn't important, but we should all be on that type of level, especially the frontline employees. That's what I'm saying. Oh, if you guys are watching, make sure to share out the show. You guys got to share out the show. Got to start watch parties in these different groups. Share out the show and get people to watching. Matter of fact, let me do that myself. Wow. Y'all guys are sharing it. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, Guno got to share out the video, got to show love. Yeah, I want to bring up a comment, a tweet that Trump said. Trump is crazy, man. And like I said, Trump is like the master of stagecraft. Like, he know how to beat you down and with tweets, and he's so unorthodox politically that the politicians, the real politicians, don't know how to adjust to him. But he had a meeting with Governor Cuomo last week at the White House, and he said that Cuomo must understand that national security far exceeds politics. New York must stop all of its unnecessary lawsuits and harassment. Start cleaning itself up and lowering taxes. Build relationships, but don't bring Fredo. I thought Fredo was the equivalent to the N-word for Italians. If that is so, then why is Trump using the word Fredo? Don't bring Fredo when he was talking to Cuomo. I found that I thought that was funny. There's no word on earth comparable to the N-word, especially when it's used in a racist tone. There's no word comparable to it. But that Fredo, he said, don't bring Fredo. And Trump is gangster. Trump said it before Cuomo even came to the White House. So Cuomo definitely seen the tweet. I wonder how that meeting went. But moving along, it is Black History Month. And I found this online. I found this posting online about a bus strike. And it was between, I think, the 1930s and the 1940s. And this says, don't ride until you see Negro drivers. Now, this goes to show you the world that we were living in at that time. Of course, we all know. But they went on strike in Harlem because the Fifth Avenue bus line was not hiring black drivers. And the post actually says job discrimination must stop in Harlem. For the hardship residents of Harlem must suffer during the current bus driver strike, we demand 100 Negro bus drivers, 100 Negro mechanics. We have thousands of licensed, qualified drivers ready to work, and this was done by the Harlem Labor Union. Now, Paul, further research showed me that the Harlem Labor Union was actually called the Negro Labor Union, and they fought for equality within the workforce for black folks. As you know, how hard it was in the 30s and 40s for people of color. It's not much really changed today. It's still hard for us in certain industries. We still get discriminated against in a lot of industries, and it's still an uphill battle for people of color. The playing field is not even. If someone tell you the playing field is even, they are lying. Did the playing field improve? Yes, it did, but it's not even. So shout out to the Harlem Labor Union for standing up for what was right during those times. Now, the past couple of days, the media have been eating up these graffiti trains. The graffiti trains have been making headlines for some strange reason, and I still don't get the formula as to how the media, what they pick up, what they consider news, what they feel is important. But I made a tweet about graffiti being in the subways, on the trains, and they just went crazy. So the media started calling my phone. I was off. It was a Saturday. They calling my phone. And, I'm trying to take as many phone calls as I can. And matter of fact, let's just play the video. Let's get into the video so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about.
Trains wait here for the next ride. Jamaica Yard near the southern end of Flushing Meadows Corona Park is one of 24 yards around the boroughs. A train emerged from here Monday, covered in graffiti and again bringing attention to the issue of security. Progressive Action is an advocacy group for transit workers. They also posted another video later Monday reporting that this happened last week at Manhattan's 207th Street Yard in Inwood.
It's becoming quite common. We see them coming through the stations. We see them in the yard.
Kimberly McLaurin says transit workers and members of Progressive Action are watching, reporting, and documenting problems.
It's a safety concern because if people have that much time to get down there and paint 8 to 10 cars, fully covered, like they don't miss it, like from top to bottom. That just shows how much time they have in the system.
Just a few weeks ago, the Police Benevolent Association posted this video from Church Avenue in Brooklyn. NYPD patrols the tunnels where trains can also be parked. MTA patrols train yards.
They should be actually concerned with the safety of both the passengers and the employees.
MTA New York City Transit says the safety of customers and employees is job number one. In a statement, the chief safety officer said, quote, major graffiti incidents system-wide were down in 2019, despite alarmist claims to the contrary. We have zero tolerance for these incidents, which take passenger trains out of service and take away valuable resources. Transit tracks major incidents and reports these numbers over the past 14 years. 297 issues in 2019, which was lower than the year before. Trains wait here for the next ride. Jamaica Yard near the southern end of
I had my mic off. I didn't even know. I had my mic off. But the MTA don't care. The MTA don't care about safety. They don't care about employee safety. They don't care about passenger safety. Our thing is that if the MTA if the graffiti artists got time to paint these intricate murals or whatever the case is, somebody with ill intentions have the same amount of time to go down there and do the same thing. They have the same opportunity to go down there, and it's not gonna take them an hour or 2 hours to do what they got to do. It's gonna take them 10, 15 minutes to do what they have to do and go on about their business. New York City is a target for terrorism. We have experienced it in the past. We have just a couple of years ago, a guy blew himself up at 42nd Street, Times Square, and it's a concern. So picture this same person having that same opportunity to go onto the tracks and plant something there and then walk away and detonate it later. And like I said, our female train operators, they be having to go into these tunnels alone. What if they encounter 3-4 guys in the tunnel? Anything could happen. I'm not saying that it would happen, but it's a unsafe situation that the MTA should take serious, that NYPD should take serious, that it should be, the union should take serious. And the union is not even doing much when it comes to employee safety besides lip service. That's what I call it, lip service. They go out there and make all these quotes. They go to the media and make all these quotes, but nothing beyond that. They not holding the MTA accountable at all for employee safety. I just want to see how they accountable for employee safety. I don't see it. I don't see it at all. Now, I got to put you guys onto something. As you guys know, and for the public who knows or don't know, hold on one second. Yeah, for the public who don't know, and for the people who work for the MTA, these supervisors would do whatever it take to deter us from writing injury on duty forms, being injured on duty. They would do everything in their power to not have us fill out an IOD form. I don't know why. I know why, because it makes them look like they running an unsafe operation, but they go above and beyond to deter us from going out injury on duty. They don't care what it is. They will talk you out of injury, going out injury on duty. So there was this conductor. His name, Augustine Edmonds, 32 years on the job, conductor. He had some type of incident in East New York Yard. I'm going to put his picture on the screen for those who may know him. He had an incident at East New York Yard where he allegedly fell on the tracks between the third rail and the running rail. And he could have died from that alone if he would have made contact with the third rail. He would have been fried. But allegedly, someone found him, a supervisor, found him laying on the tracks. They brought him to the locker room. He had his face was busted open. He required stitches on his face. But they set him in the locker room to let him finish out his tour. They said that allegedly he refused medical, which I don't believe. This company, like I said earlier, they have a habit of deterring workers from going out IOD. And then, he was hurt. They let him finish out his shift in the locker room. Supervisors allegedly brought the payroll down to him and let him sign out. Now, the reason they let him stay in the locker room is because they didn't want to fill out the IOD. Now, this happens rampant throughout this property. They would do whatever it takes, once again, for you not to fill out an IOD. So, a couple of days later, Mr. Edmonds ends up in a coma. And he don't recuperate or recover from that coma. Currently, Mr. Edmonds is in a vegetative state in a hospice. And in my opinion, the MTA is responsible for this. They refused to get him help. They refused to get him medical that day, even though he had a gash on his face from the fall that required a couple of stitches, which means that it was blood. It had to be blood. And as a result of them not doing what they had to do, Brother Edmonds fell into a coma and possibly won't recover from his injuries. Now, the reason I talk about this, I spoke to the family, I spoke to the daughter, and she didn't have no problem with it. And this is how the TA function. The MTA do not care about our safety. When they say that we are just an number, they mean just that. We are just a number, because now Mr. Edmonds is in a coma. Vegetative state, respirator. They said that he may not make it out of that. There's someone in his job right now doing his same exact job, and the TA don't care. Yeah, I heard that the TA is doing an investigation, but how can you expect a fair investigation when it would prove how incompetent they were in their own duties? That wouldn't be fair. It wouldn't be fair at all. So how can we trust, and how can the family trust the MTA to do an honest job as to why no IOD was filled out, why no ambulance or medical was called? Because I heard that they saying that, he refused medical or whatever the case is. Okay, this man fell on the tracks, bust his face open. For argument's sake, why didn't you guys send him for incident testing to possibly, what if he was drunk? So you allowed someone that was possibly under the influence of anything, and I'm just hypothetically speaking, to remain on the property without being tested. So you didn't get him medical, and you didn't send him for incident testing. And that's a clear sign of a cover-up. The MTA did not want to deal with the IOD situation. The MTA did not want to report the incident. And nobody in their right mind thought that Mr. Edmonds will fall into the condition that he's in now. Because they have done this over and over and over again. This practice of deterring employees from going out injury on duty, this has been a commonplace in New York City Transit. A commonplace. And as a result of their negligence, Mr. Edmonds may never recover from his injuries. No matter what the case was, no matter if he had other underlying medical conditions, maybe if the TA would have got him medical help that day, they could have foreseen something coming. Maybe blood pressure was high. No matter what it was, they didn't get this man medical help. There wasn't no paperwork generated of the incident, allegedly. There wasn't no STARS report. There wasn't no IOD report, because on the IOD report, it's supposed to say if you refuse medical or not. That information did not exist. And how these supervisors got away with this, I have no idea. I have no idea how they got away with this, but they got away with it. And I don't trust the MTA. And to be honest, I wouldn't put all the blame on the supervisors, because this is probably how they were taught. This is probably how they were told to function, because superintendents frown down on employees going out IOD. They don't want to do the paperwork. They don't want to make it look like they running an unsafe operation at their terminals. And I probably think under some form or fashion, they have to report this to the federal government, as far as how many workers are actually injured on duty. And maybe their insurance go up, or whatever the case may be. Even though I heard the MTA is self-insured, it's still a price to pay. And to avoid that price to pay, they would do everything in their power to get you not to go out IOD, including sitting in the locker room with a gash up under your eye, hoping that you'll get better to go home and get off the property. And then once you get off the property, they don't care what happens to you after that. You could get hit by a Mack truck. The day that you say that you're not coming to work, or you never will be able to come back to work again, there will be somebody in your position. The same way they treated Mr. Edmonds. So for the record, I do not trust the MTA doing their own investigation. They're not going to be fair. I don't understand why the union president is not involved with this. I don't understand why he's not all over this. I don't understand why this isn't in the media. But this goes on to show you the culture of how the MTA treat us, how the union respond to incidences like this, and it's not right. And being that now that I'm involved with it, I'm going to make sure that things are fair and that the true story get out and people are held accountable for their actions, because everybody knows what happened. Sad situation. Now, if you've been involved with union politics and been paying attention the past couple of years, you would know that we have a lot of wannabe know-it-all reps, all because they were popular enough to be elected. They think they know it all. They think they know everything. They don't think logically. It's easy to expose these guys. Whatever they say, you can expose them on it, without a doubt. Whatever you say, you can expose them on it. So me and Division Chair Donald Yates was going at it the other day on Twitter. And he tweeted this, and it's on the screen right now. He says, calling into your show would mean I thought you were objective and knowledgeable. I see your spins, which makes you a manipulative person in my eyes. So no, you will never get the pleasure of having a real union rep on your show. Besides, you love management and the pictures show. I want you guys to remember that. He said, I love management and the pictures show. First and foremost, there's no entity like Progressive Action out there right now on New York City Transit property. There's not one movement like Progressive Action out there at all. Not one. If these guys feel that I am so wrong and they are so right, and I continuously open up my platform for us to have a discussion on who's wrong and who's right, and they say I'm wrong, why don't they take me up on my challenge to debate me on the things that I'm wrong on? Wouldn't that be the fastest way to shut me down? Like, I'm gonna go on that show, I'm gonna shut him down, and nobody ain't gonna mess with him no more because I'm gonna expose how he don't know anything or anything like that. If they stand on that, then why don't they come on the show? Like, he's saying that he's a real rep. Nobody don't know who he is. If I don't talk about him on this show, nobody won't really know who he is. Right? Now, I'm not saying that Yates isn't a nice guy or a cool dude to talk sports with, talk motorcycles with, to talk current events with. I'm not saying that. There's a difference between someone who does that, because I never had a bad conversation with him on the phone or anything like that. I don't think that he's a bad guy, but I do think that he's incompetent in his duties. I do think that he possesses qualities that's not good as far as lying. He got caught cheating, forging over 144 signatures in an election a couple of years ago. So do I think that he possessed bad qualities in order to fit in to earn his keep? Yes, he does that. Do I think that he's knowledgeable on union politics and know how things work? He's not knowledgeable. He does not know how things work beyond the surface. Yes, he could look at something and say the color of that wall is gray. He could look at that and say that, but he can't say, well, what type of gray is it? Like, he can't differentiate if it's dark gray or light gray. Yes, it's gray. Okay, what color gray is it? Is it light, dark? It's in the middle. Like, that's the kind of guy he is. He don't give straight up answers. But I need you guys to remember what he said. He said that I love management and the pictures show. And this is all because I took a picture with Byford. But I want you guys to remember that. And then he put out another tweet. The next tweet said, and you were in pictures with the man who bought the bus borough redesigns. He was the fair manager in your eyes. Byford lullaby your ass to sleep. I don't mess with people who love management like that. Any member who would do that is a sellout in my eyes. This is what Yates said. Yates said that he don't mess with people who love management like that. I want y'all to explain this picture to me. I want Yates to explain this picture to me. This is Mapstore Division Chair Donald Yates, the guy who just tweeted all that stuff about I love pictures with management and management show, and that any member, he don't mess with people who love management like that, because any member who would do that is a sellout in his eyes. Well, what do you call this right here? We got Donald Yates campaigning for anti-labor governor Andrew Cuomo. Let that marinate for a second. You have Donald Yates campaigning for anti-labor governor Cuomo. And he can't say, oh, I was just standing there, I just took the picture. Doesn't mean, no. He got a paper in his hand. Smiling, endorsing Cuomo, anti-labor governor Cuomo. Anti-labor governor Cuomo. And he wasn't alone. This is the whole union. Most of the leadership here endorsing Cuomo. So Yates claimed that he don't mess with management like that. I mean, he don't mess with people who mess with management like that, right? Everyone knows that there's no bigger manager on the property than Andrew Cuomo. So somebody need to ask Yates, do you mess with JP? Do you mess with Utano? Do you mess with Latanya? Because everyone knows that Governor Cuomo runs the MTA. He's the biggest manager in the MTA, Governor Cuomo. He controls the MTA. So you don't mess with people who take pictures with management. What do you call this? What do you call that? Yates, do you mess with Nelson Rivera? I see him and Utano again smiling with anti-labor Governor Cuomo. Do you mess with them? This is what I mean with you guys. You guys burn the candle from both ends and then think that nobody is supposed to pick up on it. You guys think that you could bamboozle any and everyone. I just want to go back to your picture of you yourself promoting Cuomo. Anti-labor Governor Cuomo. Cuomo who gave us Tier 6. Cuomo who vetoed Tier 6. Cuomo who told Pat Foy to go hard on Local 100. How are you campaigning for the guy who's telling his guy to go hard on us and you're supposed to be protecting us? But you campaign for him. This is what I mean, that you have no political sense. You have no political whereabouts. Like, you don't know what's going on politically. Like, you are a soldier. You are the type of person, if this was the military, you are the person that they send out there to go get killed first. But we hope that you make it. But if you get killed, you just collateral damage. That's what you are here. You need to stay in your lane. Stay out of the politics. Don't talk politics. Just go into your go defend your members. Go hop around in videos, dancing around, bouncing on your feet. Yeah, we knocking down buses. Yeah, this is what we are doing. Go do that. Go do the minstrel show. Go be the mascot. But when it comes to these politics, brother, this is not for you. You don't understand the politics. You go say one thing to me, but then you're out there campaigning for Cuomo, the guy who basically effed over every Tier 6 new member who came onto this property. Effed over. We went from 3 years to 5 years pay under Cuomo. He attempted to get rid of the tri-borough agreement. And if anybody know what the tri-borough agreement is, it's basically law that says that if our contract expire, that the company still have to abide by our last contract. So what Cuomo tried to do by getting rid of the tri-borough agreement, that if he would have got rid of it, then once our contract expire, that's it. The TA could do whatever they want to do. They could change our salaries. They could change our health benefits. They could do whatever they want to do. Cuomo wanted to get rid of that. And there you have Donald Yates campaigning for Governor Cuomo. Campaigning for Governor Cuomo. And this is why these guys would not come on a Progressive Action show, because they will not be able to fight that or go against that or debate against that. So don't be fooled when they say, oh, I'm a real rep. You just want a real rep on your show. They not real. These guys are not real. They not built like that. That's why they won't come on the show. Ask your rep, yo, just go on the show and shut Trammell down. Shut him up. We tired of him. Just go in there and shut him up. They go tell you no. And I guarantee you, if he was to call into the show, he will get some type of technical difficulties as to once it start getting heated. Because you can't even explain this. This just look funny. You just look fake. You don't mess with people who like management like that, but you campaigning for the guy who basically effed over your union and told Pat Foy to go hard on your union, the members that you're supposed to represent, but you out here campaigning for them. This is what I meant when I said that people be promoting their own lynching. Donald Yates is out here promoting his own lynching. He don't understand. He don't get it at all. You know what I'm saying? And I'm even skeptical as to the fight that he actually doing in his own division. I'm quite sure he helps people. But if he's thinking like this and he's not afraid to show it, he's not what he's saying he is. I could guarantee you that. I could guarantee you that. And like I said again, don't get it confused as, yes, he's a nice guy. I could kick it with him. I could talk sports. I could call him. We could talk about this. We could talk about that. That's cool. But he knows nothing about these union politics. And we're gonna get into, he posted this the other day, yesterday, I believe, too. And sometimes, they want to act like they educating us and they teaching us, and that when they come from this angle, it give them like some type of superiority against towards us. Like, yeah, he knows what he's talking about. He's a rep. This, that. See, they not gonna tell you everything. Now, I'm gonna say this. He posted up a post talking about COPE and basically trying to question people what COPE stand for. Of course, it's Committee on Political Education. How does COPE help your union and its members, if at all? It can COPE come from your union dues? And then he posted the answers to that, basically. And he gave the answers. Now, I want to focus on the paragraph that he wrote, because this is the important part of COPE, and I wish that he would call into the show and discuss this, because we could really discuss this. Now, he said COPE is totally voluntary and not mandatory. COPE is totally voluntary and not mandatory. However, I think every member should understand that COPE is our funding to fight for things we need in Washington that affects us directly and indirectly. Example, COPE is used to fund campaigns that benefit our members politically in local, state, and national politics, to help in passing laws that benefit labor issues. COPE is part of the TWU's political action arm. It covers expenses of meeting with and educating legislators, and helps with elected office holders who respect our members and fight for our causes. Now, to be honest with you, he did not say nothing wrong there, but he gave you the blanket reason for COPE. He didn't give you the local 100 reason for COPE. He gave you the blanket reason for COPE. Now, that blanket reason that he gave, that shit will hold true for a union who's doing right by their members, but that don't hold true for local 100 members at all. Now, what he's not telling you guys about the COPE money is that the union leadership make friends and use the COPE money to make friends with these politicians for their own personal gain. It has absolutely nothing to do with the members. Once again, the union used the money that we give into COPE to give the politicians and make friends with politicians for their own personal gain and clout, to take pictures with them, to make it look like they rubbing shoulders with politicians, and to make themselves look important. It has absolutely nothing to do with the members themselves. We just happen to be pawns. We just happen to give our money so they could go out there and use our money to make themselves look good. They have political friends who they rub shoulders with. These people will forever get our COPE money, even though they do nothing to stand up for transit worker issues. When have you seen one of these politicians out there in the forefront when we getting our asses kicked on the road left and right? When have you ever seen them put together a press conference to say this got to stop against transit workers? Where were they when the bus operator had the urine thrown in her face, and the conductor had the urine thrown in his face, and the conductor almost lost his life getting stabbed, and every day we getting assaulted? Where are these politicians? But let a police officer get shot, you see the line down the block filled with politicians doing press conferences, standing with their union, doing things. The COPE money is only used for their political friends to keep those relationships going. These politicians are pimping Utano and crew in this administration. Yates is not saying that. Now, when I say they political friends, one of their political friends is Governor Cuomo. This union, since 2009, I believe, or maybe 2012, gave Cuomo over $300,000 in coat money. Cuomo and friends over $300,000 in coat money. What has Cuomo done for the members here in Local 100? What has Cuomo done? Cuomo has done more bad than good for us as a union. Why would our union, first of all, our union don't even call out Cuomo for nothing bad that he has done. It shows that they have a relationship that we obviously don't understand on a more friendlier level, right? So why is our union giving Cuomo money when he has done absolutely nothing for us but cause us hardship? How has funding Cuomo been a benefit to the workers of TWU Local 100? Tell Yates to answer that. And to be honest with you, we have suffered more under Cuomo than any other governor the past 30 years. He gave us a new pension tier. He gave us 5 years top pay. He gave us, did I say tier 6? He gave us tier 6. And then he vetoed tier 6 about a year ago. There's absolutely no restricted duty positions for women on this job under Cuomo. Cuomo told Pat Foy to go hard on us during this past current contract. What has Cuomo done to get our coat money? To deserve our coat money? What has he done? And not to mention, once again, Cuomo tried to dismantle the Tri-Borough Agreement. For those who don't know what the Tri-Borough Agreement is, the Tri-Borough Agreement basically makes the employers abide by the contract. If the contract expires, the employers have to abide by the last contract. They can't just ignore it or do whatever they want. Cuomo tried to dismantle the Tri-Borough Agreement, so when our contract expire, the company can pay us whatever they want to pay us, give us whatever medical they want to give us, fire us, whatever. They could do whatever they want because we not binded by no contract anymore. Cuomo tried to get rid of that. So someone answers to me, why would Local 100 continue to support Cuomo? Why would Donald Yates hold up a sign campaigning for Cuomo? He's supposed to know these things. Don't he claim to know that he's a good union rep and he knows these things? Like, these is things that's on the surface. This is not stuff that you really got to search for. This stuff is on the surface. But Donald Yates is over there campaigning for a man who want to take everything away from us. He's campaigning for a man that want to take everything away from us. Now, I'm going to say this. The COPE Fund is a great thing to participate in. But under this union leadership, the COPE money is used for their own personal political gain. Ask them what politicians did they give money to, and ask them what have those politicians done for us lately. You know that song? What have you done for me lately? Ask them, what have this union done? What has these politicians done for us lately to deserve, or at all, to deserve our COPE money? They only use that COPE money to rub shoulders with people they wouldn't be able to rub shoulders with. Because if you look at these union reps, and I'm talking about at least 90%, I don't know or haven't interacted with a whole bunch of them, but if you look at the main ones, you could tell they was the ones in high school that was not at the cool table. They was sitting at the corner hoping to be accepted. They was the ones on the sideline asking to be picked to play the sport or didn't play the sport. They was the ones that was mad at the athletes because they was able to play a sport and was gifted and talented, and they wasn't. They wasn't part of the cool kid table. You could look at them. So now it's like becoming a union rep levels the playing field. They can make up for things that they didn't get. They wasn't acknowledged for as a child. They actually feel like someone being a union rep. But you could tell by their movements that they're corny, they whack, they cornballs. Straight live like that. They whack, they corny, they cornballs. They not built like that. And I want you to ask any union rep this. Since Stand United been in office the past 11 years, how many bills, laws, did they get passed on behalf of TWU Local 100 transit workers? On behalf of us giving our coat money and them giving it to their friends. Ask them how many bills have been passed in favor of TWU Local 100 members. I'm going to name a couple that I know. You have the assault bill. The assault bill is trash. Let's make no mistake about it. The assault bill is trash. You have the Janus bill that Cuomo signed with all the union reps and they standing there. The Janus bill is trash. It don't give no protection to us at all. In fact, Janus shouldn't even come into play if the union was doing their job. Nobody would be thinking about opting out if the union was doing everything that they needed to do. So that Janus bill is trash. The veterans bill, that was good. The veterans bill was good, but it don't benefit everyone. How does the veterans bill protect us as a workforce? And other agencies already had that. While transit workers didn't have it is beyond me. But the bills that they did get passed was trash. So they giving away hundreds of thousands of dollars of coat money that's not benefiting us, but benefiting them and for their own political, personal gain, to rub shoulders with politicians, to make themselves look like they're important, to go back home to their family like, hey, look, I took a picture with Cuomo. Hey, look, I took a picture with Letitia James. Hey, look, I took a picture with this person. Hey, look, you got to give away coat money to do that? You letting these politicians pimp you? Now, I'm not saying that there's not politicians who don't deserve our support, because there are ones there are some out there that deserve our support, but not the ones that Utano and Samuelson and this administration is supporting. Ask them, what have these politicians done for us outside, or said for us outside of campaign time? Like, you got people running for things coming up soon, so they're going to start popping out, transit workers this, transit workers that. Then once they get in office, where's this transit worker talk at? Where's this transit worker talk at? So at the end of the day, I'm going to bring this picture up again. You have Donald Yates supporting an anti-labor Governor Cuomo, campaigning for him, supporting him. You have Donald Yates talking about, I got to bring up the tweet again. I don't mess with people who love management like that. Any member who would do this is a sellout in my eyes. Here we go again. Here go the picture again. You talk about selling out, huh? You talk about selling out, huh? You are the ultimate definition of sellout of a union rep. You are a sellout. I don't believe how you guys could buy into some of these union reps. I really don't. I don't understand how you guys can do it. I really don't get it. Really don't get it. Now, something else important happened last week, where the union officially got members to deconsolidate maintenance titles in buses. Now, for those who don't know, deconsolidation in buses mean that everyone must go back to their respective depots in which they were hired. So if you was MAP Store, you must go back to a MAP Store depot. If you was TA Surface, you got to go back to a TA Surface depot. Some people pick depots depending on where they live. Like, if someone is TA Surface Maintenance and they live in upstate, it makes sense for them to work in the Bronx somewhere. Now these people who live upstate got to go all the way to Brooklyn, because now they only could pick into Brooklyn because the union coerced, convinced, and deceived members into voting yes for option one, which now says you must vote, you must work to where you hired. First of all, if we all MTA and we all share the same title, why can't we pick into any depot we want to work in as long as we qualify to work in that depot? Why does it matter if you started out MAP Store or TA Surface? That's the only place that you're allowed to work. I think that that's stupid. And it was before they convinced members and deceived members into voting yes, you was able to pick into any depot that you wanted to. But now they convince members to choose option 1, which is vote yes. You must go back to your respective depots. Now, I'm telling you bus operators this. You guys are next. You guys are going to be deconsolidated next. And I guess that when that happens, that's when things is going to hit the fan. That's when, and you know when it's going to hit the fan? When it's too late. When you guys are already deconsolidated. So when they say, hey, oh, you work in Brooklyn, but you map store? You where you live at? You live in South Jersey? Yeah, you gotta go back to Manhattan or the Bronx to work. You can't work in TA Surf. You can't work in the Brooklyn bus depot no more. Or, like I said, if you that person that live upstate, like a lot of us do, because we can't afford to live in the city in which we work, so we got to work on the outside, on the outskirts of where we work. So you live upstate somewhere, and you travel to the Bronx to work because it make more sense. It's going to come to the day that you live upstate and you're going to have to travel all the way to Brooklyn to make your money. That's exactly what they did to the maintenance people. They did exactly that. And this was just a test run. Do not let them fool you and like, yo, you know, we not doing buses. Don't believe everything you hear on the internet. We not going to do buses. Oh yeah? You never thought about doing buses? Especially your TA Surface rep, your vice president, JP Patafio. He better not be saying that because he already tried to secretly deconsolidate buses. And like I said, I don't talk without providing some type of receipt, some type of document for you to read. I mean, whatever you guys want and you interested in what I provide or what I'm talking about, I can send you proof. I do not go off of the whim and things like that. I always have some type of documented proof, whether I post it on the show or whether I don't, I have the proof. So if they happen to say, we're not thinking about deconsolidating bus operators, they have already tried back in 2013. They already tried. In fact, on the lawsuit itself, it quotes JP Patafio. It says, however, the reply affidavit may not be considered to remedy any basic deficiencies of plaintiff moving papers. Now, the plaintiff was the union because they was the one complaining about the deconsolidation and wanted the court to get rid of it. Moreover, Patafio's affidavit might provide some evidence in support of its position, but it is not sufficient to meet plaintiff's burden of showing the likelihood of success on the merits. So JP affidavit was trying to say that consolidation was hurting them in some form or fashion, and it was important that we deconsolidate to make things the way they wanted to make it, the way they wanted to do with how they got the maintenance going on right now. They are going to, if they remain in office, especially if JP becomes president, and he don't have no real check and balance system on his side, because he's running for president against Utano. Make no mistake about it. If he get his way, and if they remain in office another 4 years, I could promise you deconsolidation of bus operators is going down. It is going down. The proof is right here. He already tried it. They lost in court. They took the TA to court. You would think that the TA would want this, but the union actually want to deconsolidate. They want to say, hey, oh, you map store, but you working in Brooklyn? Where you live at? You live in South Jersey? Nah, you can't work in Brooklyn no more. You got to go back up to the Bronx. Oh, you live upstate, but you TA Surface, but you work in the Bronx? Nah, you got to go to Brooklyn. We don't care about your commute. We don't care about your quality of life. We the union. We don't care about you guys. We don't care what's going on with you guys. You guys, we run the show. You guys work for us. That's how the union think. Even though they work for us, they got a lot of members thinking that we work for them. So y'all thinking that they the boss. No, you're the boss. We the boss. I mean, we the boss. We pay them. They don't pay us. They don't even fight for us like they supposed to. But meanwhile, they walk around these properties with impunity. They do whatever they want. They say whatever they want. And y'all guys are not doing anything about it. I hear all these stories about everybody was tough 10, 20 years ago. 25 years ago, they was running this, they was running that, they did jail time this, they was the man out here in these streets, they was doing all this tough guy stuff, but as soon as they put on the MTA uniform, they get soft. I don't understand those type of guys. You're going to be real whether you got on a uniform, whether you got on whatever civilian clothes, you're always going to be real. But you guys, it's very questionable, man, with a lot of these MTA workers. Now, I'm not promoting no type of violence or anything to happen, but you guys don't even open up your mouths to say anything. You guys are not even challenging them on the issues when they be coming to have these shop gates. They walk through these depots with impunity. They not worrying about anyone challenging them because they think that they some fake mafia. They some fake tough guys. Meanwhile, back in the day, nobody even knew who they was. They wasn't part of the cool. They didn't even fit in. You could tell. You know how they say real recognize real? To be honest, real recognize everything. That's why they don't understand me, because they don't recognize me. They not real. I recognize them. I understand them. I seen suckers like them. That's the one of the pluses of living in the projects. You live in the projects with 16. I grew up in Tompkins Projects. 16 floors. You know how many different people I had to interact with every single day? How many different personalities and egos I had to interact with and get along with every single day in order to survive? And then we only talking about that building when you got about 8 different complexes on the property. And then not to mention, you got to go to school and deal with the same thing. Then you go to these different neighborhoods. Like, that's one positive thing about dealing with a project kid, someone who grew up in the projects, is that you see all these different characters from early in life. From early in life, you encounter them in the hallway, you encounter them in the elevator, you encounter them going to the grocery store, you encounter them on the playground or hanging out in front of the building or whatever. You encounter all these different types of personalities. That's why it's easy for me to recognize who's who and what's what and how to move. Progressive action got to where it went quick because I knew how to maneuver and navigate those waters. I knew what it took. When I first started Progressive Action, I told Jamel what the plan was. And he said, I don't know about that, cuz. I said, watch me, when I told him what the plan was. And look where we at. We exceeded what I originally said because I recognize these characters. They are not who they say they are. They not built the way they say they built. They are really not part of the cool kids. They are cornballs. They are suckers, and they found a little niche to make themselves feel superior, make themselves feel important, and they got you guys fooled thinking that. Man, they not built like that, man. They not built. And you can look at Yates. Yates is a prime example of that. Cool cat, cool to talk to. I could probably call him right now and speak to him on the phone about some stuff or whatever the case is. And we can have a regular conversation, but the politics I do not agree with him on. He's exactly what's wrong with Local 100. He's exactly the problem that's here. Claim that they know it all just because they think that I got 6 years on the job, that my induction date was my date of birth. I guarantee you I experienced more in my time on earth than he did in his time on earth. Yes, he has been elected. Yes, he has driven the bus. Yes, what does that mean though? I have more life experience because my experience came from different places at different times in bunches and in abundance. I'm talking about from the streets to college to everything I experienced in my short time here. And I ain't talking about watching it from my window. I'm talking about being 10 toes down on the ground. Not none of that. Oh, I seen that. Nah, not none of that. But we ain't gonna get into that. But they They not built like that. I'm telling you that right now. They not built like that. That's why they having a hard time on how to neutralize me and how to come at me or how to approach me. Or they think I'm not approachable and think I'm one of the coolest people here. Anybody can tell you that once they talk to me. I don't take no BS. You come at me correct. You know, respect is respect. But anything I feel that's disrespectful, then it's on after that. That's it. That's just how I am. But I'm a respectful person. I don't come at people wrong. I stand up for what's right. You may not like my approach, but you're going to like my destination. And that's just how I move. That was nice, right? I broke that down good. I think I broke that down good. Like I said, feel free. This show don't run for free, man. Y'all got to start making donations. Progressive Action 100 is the Cash App. The PayPal is in the link of the show. Like I said, I got something called Patreon. Donate $25 a month recurring. It's time to show love. Time to show support, man. Support the real ones. Y'all been supporting these fake ones for so long. Y'all never show the real ones the love. The ones who's actually putting their career on the line. The ones who's actually fighting for you guys. Not even for you guys, for us, because I'm an hourly employee. I go to my tools every single day. You know what I'm saying? Support the real ones, man. Stop with this supporting the fake, man. The fake had their time. It's over for them. It's over for them. And follow all our platforms. If you got Twitter, please, follow our Twitter. You see it, Progressive ACT, Progressive Act. You got Instagram, follow our Instagram. You got YouTube, subscribe to our channel. You got a question, you see the email, Progressive Action 100, even though the computer is in the way. It's progressiveaction100@gmail.com. The Facebook channel. When this show go off, you got to share the show. You got to share the show. Share it on your personal timeline. Share it on in these groups. I don't care if you see it there already. Share it again. Share it on Twitter. Once this show go on Twitter, just put it on Twitter again. Show love. Spread love the Brooklyn way. But look, tell Yates to get his act together, man. He's promoting his own lynching. The last time I said that, they put me in the post and say that I call black women slaves. Nah, I said that they was promoting their own lynching by supporting the governor who's anti-worker, who told his underling, who told his underboss to go hard on us. But meanwhile, you got people like Donald Yates holding up vote for Cuomo signs and things like that. Makes absolutely no sense, man. Absolutely no sense. But like I said, continue to share the show. Continue to donate. Shout out to all those who donated. Continue to spread love and get involved. Oh, one more thing I got to tell y'all. Stop thinking coming to work means that just solely coming to work means that you securing the bag. That's not securing the bag. Securing the bag is you coming to work, you knowing your work rules, you know how to apply those work rules, you standing up against management when you're getting attacked. That's securing the bag, because you want to know what? The minute that you make a mistake and you don't know how to defend yourself from that mistake, you know what the TA is going to do? They're going to go into your bag. They're going to take money out your bag via days in the street. They're going to fine you. They're going to suspend you. So you're not securing your bag simply by coming to work. You're securing your bag by knowing the rules, knowing how to apply the rules, knowing how to defend yourself when you're being attacked with the rules. That's securing the bag. Thanks for tuning in. Catch y'all later. Peace.